Hi, Dr. Everman. I uploaded two photos of my brainstorming drafts for each project, so the stakeholder one and the education one. I just want to take some time to explain my chaos because my handwriting is horrible when I'm going on the move and it doesn't really make sense. So, for my stakeholder education project, I uploaded this paper. I'm just going to kind of glance at it. Um, I at first I was kind of nervous because I'm like, it's just kind of new for me to go to higher authority and ask for something, a new change, or just implement something new. So I was kind of nervous when I was brainstorming and not really too, I don't know, I don't want to say motivated, but anyways. But I was walking today, and that's when I actually did it, and then I came back and wrote it down. So I was thinking about who are my stakeholders? Who can I talk to? So I came up with athletic directors. I have a good relationship with the assistant athletic director, and not a bad relationship with the head athletic director. I just see the assistant more. And so I'm comfortable talking with them. I think I have a good relationships with the parents of my athletes. I try to make that as soon as possible if anyone gets injured. Coaches. So I was going through all these options. At first, I thought I would go more towards the coaches just because that's who I communicate most often with. But going through my options, I'll just talk them out, and then I think I almost lean towards athletic directors. So it's like, okay, what am I going to teach these people about? And then I started thinking, coaches, I'm going to be in softball this season. Basketball's ending in a week. And I know that I was talking to Caroline, and she said, they're interested in doing whatever's best for the athletes. So maybe you can talk to them about some kind of preventative, warm up during or before practices or after practices or twice a week. And so I'm interested in that. I think, I don't know, I haven't witnessed how they practice or play yet. So that's going to take a couple, I don't know, a little bit longer than I would want it to, but I need to look up some preventative exercises because that is still one of my options. I want to do it soon so that their practices start March 6th. And I know that you recommend us doing this meeting before March 5th. So I want to do it before practices start so I have that meeting so I can be able to change that. And then I would implement that during the spring season, so either before practices or however we decide. And then I can measure that outcome by tracking the injuries and seeing if there was any changes from this year, from past previous years, or whatnot. I like this idea just because I know I'll be here at the high school and I would be able to watch it get implemented. So I like having that happen now since I will be leaving the high school in May. Another option that I'm really excited about or interested is talking to the athletic directors about the concussion protocol to return to school. So I've heard Lacey talk a lot about this, and I think it's a big issue because right now if I have an athlete that gets a concussion, I talk to their parents about how they're not going to be in any activity sport related until their symptoms subside. But I don't ever I don't talk to anyone in the school saying, hey, so and so had a concussion, can they please, school wise. So I want to after talking, I don't know, I want to see if there is even a policy put in place, because if there is, I'm not aware of it and we do not practice it, or if I can create a policy for the school, because I think it's very important for students not only to stay out of activity, but stay out of 8-hour day schools. And if they're at school and they start having these headaches, can they go to the nurse and what can we do for them? And I know that there's policies made, but this would be me implementing it to our athletic directors, and I choose them because they're at school all day, and they know the athletes, and they have good relationships with the principal, and other than that. And so I would implement this before March 5th, and then track or implement it. And whenever I have an athlete, or Carolyn or Greg has an athlete that gets a concussion, and in the springtime, and we can see how this works, and we can start implementing it and measure how that goes. I would love to know your thoughts about both, because I think both are very exciting. And we'll see on the synchronous session tomorrow what your main thoughts are about this project. And then I have also talked to Lucas and Terralyn. We meet on Friday, and Lucas was already saying how he had ideas for us. So my ideas might change, but I just want to explain my rationale for those. And then for my education project, my first thought was to do my BSU. People I graduated with, there's 8 of us that are really close. We have a group text going on. We talk and we help each other through these new situations that we're all experiencing after graduation. Everyone has an athletic training job. So in my goals for the semester, I wanted to educate them because they're interested. They're in masters, they're getting their masters and nothing in athletic training, so they're not learning anything new for athletic training school-wise, education-wise. So I want to be that one to help them learn all these new things that I have learned since May of graduation. So that was my first thought about this education project. I don't know what I would teach them yet, just something new in the athletic training world. They all have Google Hangouts. I've Skyped with them before, or not Skype, but Google Hangouts with them before for projects. So I know they'd be willing to. And then for the outcome tool, I would think I would just have this one-time main education party class. And then after that, create a survey, implement it right after the meeting, see what all they remember, and then 2 to 3 weeks down the road, send it to them again and see what all they retained actually. And that can be worked out too in the details. Another thought is we have 3 students at our Terre Haute North site, and February is going to be a pretty down time for us because seasons are ending and new seasons have not begun yet. So I would love to be able to educate those 3 ISU students any way possible. So that's definitely still in the options. My first thought was to educate them on documentation. I know you do that in class, but that was the one thing that I kind of struggled with right out of undergrad is, yes, I knew what documentation was, but I had never fully got it. And so if I educate them on documentation before spring season starts, and I can have them start getting physicals, putting in the emergency contact information, the insurance information, and making them fully aware of, yes, this is time consuming, but it needs to be done and it is important. And that would be implemented or measured by if their completion or their understanding of it. So I hope those ideas are somewhat reasonable. I'm very open to your feedback, and I'm sorry this video lasted 9 minutes. I tried to make it as fast as possible. Hope you have a good week.